Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Red Cartel. It is Valentine's Day. It is Friday the 14th, and we are live and direct with Redmen once again for the Red Cartel. I am your host, Errol. You can find me on Twitter at Errol015 and on Insta at this moment in time. But ladies and gentlemen, I have got another panel out with me tonight. They are another 30 panel of the Cartel members, and we've got things to discuss. We're going to unpack some of the events from this week. We're going to do some throwbacks as well. There's going to be some chat looking forward to the weekend's events, so stay tuned. Make sure you're showing some love. If you are like Bruno Mars and you've been locked out of heaven, make sure you drop some love in the chat with us tonight, because we have got you covered. And without further ado, I'm just going to bring in the panel tonight because the guys are absolutely ready. I feel like they've got some smoke for us Liverpool fans as well, so we might have to hold a little bit of corn tonight, guys. But big up the lads in the chat. Here we go. Joining us tonight is the esteemed panel, man. Thank you very much for joining us, guys. We've got Deluded Good. Big up Deluded, making your debut on the Red Cartel. How you feeling?
One love, man. One love for having me, man. It's appreciative to be here, man. I'm sure we're going to get into a lot. Thank you, man.
Yeah, man, it's blessed. Dan Potts back again. How you doing, brother? You good?
Good, bro. Yeah, big up. Thanks for having me again, man. Looking forward to it.
No worries. Raylex, how you doing, my bro? You good?
I'm good, man. Thank you for having me. I watch a lot of all your shows, and it's good to be here, man. Thank you.
And we've got JJ in the cut as well. Just finished work. How you feeling, brother? You good?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Happy to be on. Big up to everyone. Make sure we're smashing the like, people. Should get interesting today, man. Let's go. Let's go.
It's gonna get tasty. A man like Drifty back again. How you feeling, brother? You all right? But do you know what though, Drifty? Yeah, I will lift your mood a little bit, because I have had the actual pleasure today, and it's a proper privilege. I was actually down at the AXA today doing a little bit of recce. You know what I mean? I needed to sense the mood after the midweek game. I needed to get a feel for, what was Slot saying in the press conference, what was the mood around the players while he was training. So I have been able to peek behind the curtain. Very, very rare that, in our line of work, what we get to do, we get that close of an interaction with the players. But I got brought in today for a little sneak peek of something, so stay tuned. Keep your eyes peeled, because that will probably be coming out in the next couple of weeks once everything's been wrapped up. But yeah, to be honest with you, Drift, I'm still feeling a little bit. I'm down in the dumps, just because I thought we was that close to sealing the deal and getting over the line. And I don't really like, Potts will know, I don't really like blaming the refs for anything. Do you know what I mean? You've got to be good enough. You want to do enough in the game so the refs can't be a reason or an excuse as to why you didn't get the points. But my first question, and I want to bring it to the panel before Flawless joins us as well. Hopefully he'll join us in the next couple of moments. I just want to know and get your thoughts. Is Slot losing the plot? Is the pressure finally getting to him? Let me know, guys.
Nah. I don't think he's losing the plot. Nah, he's not losing the plot. I mean, you can't really. I agree with you. I tried my best to not blame the ref and look at individual performances after that game. And I had a lot of arguments with the boys about it, because they were like, Drift, how are we supposed to cope with it? And I get all of that. I just don't think we performed well enough. But the referee is obviously the tipping point in it. That's the point where you're like, nah, this guy, this is crazy. But I don't think it's Slot losing the plot. I think Slot is doing an unbelievable job for his first year.
In his first year, absolutely. But the way I'm seeing it is, he came in, he was so calm, collected, really composed, and everything he's done in all of his press conferences. And we're best part of 5-6 months into his tenure now. And you're seeing him getting so animated on the touchlines. He's kicking off. He's going over doing the pep handshakes to Michael Oliver. So you can see he's already in his feelings. And even he said today in his press conference, one of his actual quotes was the fact that he got too emotional. So do you think that in the moment he lost the plot? Deluded? What are your thoughts from the outside looking in?
What about referees or Slot in particular?
Either or, bro. Do you know what I mean?
As an Arsenal fan, I've got no sympathy for anyone that's been hard done by referees. I think Michael Oliver's a bit of a twat. I agree with some of the comments initially in relation to, you want to do everything in a game not to make it about the refs, but the refs want to make it about themselves. I mean, to be honest with Slot, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. I don't think he's lost the plot, but football's emotional. Liverpool stand to win the league. Every point matters if you want to take it like that. And he's allowed to react. If you said he's been calm for 5-6 6 or so months and he's finally lost his head or been emotional in the moment, then it's just a bit of out of character. But I mean, when your job's on the line, quote unquote, when you're training and doing all of that, you want to win or lose games because of your team, not necessarily referees. So I understand it from Slot. I think if anyone's accusing him of losing the plot, it's an over-exaggeration, man, if I'm honest.
I don't know, man. I think if you were talking about him losing the plot, I think they lost the plot in the derby, not in the title race. Right?
Yeah,
I think that's what people are. Okay. That's what people are losing. There's oh my god, Liverpool are crumbling in the title. I don't think they are. I think they drew last minute in the derby, and they all got really.
Is that still a good point, then, Potts? Is that a point to your local rival in a derby away at their ground? Would you see that as a good point? You guys play Spurs twice a season. What would be your thoughts?
I think it was 2 points dropped because I think you should be beating Everton. I think you're a good enough side. But in terms of the title race, to go 7 points clear of us, I think it's still not a horrendous point. I don't think you sit there crying about it because it puts you 7 points clear. Now, look, you'd rather be 9 points, right? Of course you would. But I look at it and don't think it's disaster for Liverpool. And I don't think the Liverpool fans, players and manager were losing their head because they believe they threw a title away. I think that's a bit extreme when people are potentially saying that. What I do think is funny, though, is that, and I'm one who does this myself, I never like our fan base blaming referees. And I don't like that. I think you got to look at your own performances. And there's been games where Michael Oliver has been shambolic against us, by the way. DG will tell you, right? But whenever I'm hearing on Twitter Arsenal fans crying, I'm hearing Liverpool fans and other rival fans telling us all to shut up. So I'm going to be doing the same. Sorry. If Liverpool fans cried about Michael Oliver, I'm sorry, I ain't got no sympathy. We've tried telling you this guy's rubbish, but you said to us to shut up and stop moaning. So I'm going to be having
in all fairness, though, Michael Oliver was the ref that didn't give the penalty against McAllister. Was it Doku last season where he proper fly kicks him into the chest? He doesn't give the pen for that. And obviously at the time, Liverpool fans were in uproar about that because we were still in a title race. Do you know what I mean? If we don't draw to City, who knows how last season ends out for us?
There's also a couple of the Konate handball stuff. People were going mental about it. I've got Everton fans I know, they were like, that's ridiculous, rah, rah. But if you're blaming refs, you can't, honestly, don't blame the refs. They ain't going to help you out. Trust me. Referees ain't going to help you out. So you got to put your performance in. And I don't think Liverpool did that. I've got to say, Salah, I didn't think he was great, but he scores and he gets an assist. This is what he does, man. So I don't know. I feel like it was a fair result, if I'm honest. I didn't look at Liverpool and think, wow. I certainly didn't look at Everton and go, wow, they deserve all three. And when the goal went right in at the end, what an unbelievable hit that is, by the way. They're taking 5 minutes to try and work out, right, there must be something wrong with it. Was it offside? No. Was there a foul?
There was a foul on Salah, though. There was 100% a foul on Salah in the build-up to that goal. I'm not asked what anybody says. The fact, and again, because it's Salah, he doesn't get it.
I didn't think it was a foul on Konate, though. Did you? That's a bit soft, wasn't it?
No, I thought that was probably a bit soft, but it was the earlier one that I'm thinking, why is there just no common sense applied? But because it's Salah. The one thing I'll ask JJ, really more than anything else, do you think, obviously, that being Slot's first taste of a derby and kind of the atmosphere, the tension, obviously, people say it's Everton's final, but it's their last ever derby at Goodison. Do you think he probably underestimated it, given what happened on the weekend in terms of obviously resting a lot of key players to try and keep them available for this? Do you think the selection and everything was right from Slot on this occasion?
I mean, he probably played the strongest team that we can play, and it barring maybe one or two players. Obviously, Bradley was out injured. Obviously, Bradley was playing because Trent's been out injured. Obviously, then you've got Diaz, Jota, Nunes, which one do you want to play up front? But ultimately, that was Liverpool's strongest 11. I just feel that we just didn't play well, if I'm being honest, man. I think just echoing what Dan said, a draw on the back of it is a fair result. Obviously, emotionally at the time, I was seething, I was fuming. But when you look back on it, you're like, did we actually do enough to win that game? Did we have enough shots on goal? Did we have enough clear-cut chances? Not really. It was like, if we had won that game, I would have looked at it and the narrative would have been, from a lot of fans and just ourselves as well as Liverpool fans, would have been, oh yeah, that's a champion's win. You don't play well, but you go and get the result. Ultimately, it was one where, do you know what I mean? We just, in the last moments, I mean, you could, if you wanted to hyper-analyze it, Konate's probably got to be a bit stronger and he has to win that header. And then Nunes has got to track Tarkowski when he makes his run into the box. Obviously, not expecting him to do that. But look, it's a draw, it's a point. The only thing we can do is win the next couple of games, man. So Is what it is.
There's a lot of football to be played
Is
in the
what it
next
is, man.
2 weeks.
Facts.
Is literally just turning up on a nice edge. But I'm going to come to the Man U lads, because you haven't had a chance to really kind of get in on this. But the way I'm going to ask you lads, this is, so far this season, I don't think the officiating by the refs has been good by any standards. But I also think teams are seeing a ridiculous amount of injuries as well to individual players that are making up, obviously, key elements of squads. Which has been worse for you? Do you think the officiating, or do you think the amount of injuries have stacked up have contributed to how poor overall certain parts of the season have been?
Personally, I think that you've had a bit of both. Of course, you've had some. You look at Arsenal, you look at Liverpool, for example. They've had injuries. You know, they've just had Havertz out with his hamstring and stuff. And you look at it, and it is a bit mad, because I think that in terms of teams having a fully fit squad, it's been a very mad season, because like I said, you look at all the top teams, especially even Man City and stuff. You look at De Bruyne has been injured, and they've had to spend money in January and stuff like that to reinforce their squad. So I do think that does play a factor. But you like you said, also in terms of refereeing decisions, this year in the league, there's been so many decisions that have gone past, that's gone against loads of teams. So I think that in terms of using it as an excuse, it's not really. It shouldn't really be. Sorry, it shouldn't affect teams, because I feel like if a certain team, let's say for example in Arsenal, you look at Michael Levine and his officiating. You look at how Arsenal fans react towards him, especially in that early game they had. You look at that and you think, yeah, he has had a howler. But I feel like when it's not just one team and it's everyone, like you shouldn't really use that as an excuse, because it's like.
Do you not think the overall product of the Prem is being hampered by the amount of injuries? Like, people pay big money to go to matches, or have the season ticket holders. They go to games. They pay big money to be able to watch as many games as possible on TV, and they're not even able to see the best 11 most weeks, because teams are either being overplayed, they've got a load of injuries, or the officiating for certain games just absolutely stinks out the arse end. Like, do you not think the overall product of the Premier League is being hampered by these big moments within the course of a season?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I do agree with that, because of course, when you pay a ticket, like you said, as a fan, you want to watch your best players play. And for teams at the top of the table, especially when you're going for a title race, you want to have all your best players available, because you have more of a chance of winning, and you have more of a chance of getting up in there. And when you have a fully fit squad, you're gonna go deep in every single competition. But I do think that, in regards to that though, that some of it has been self-inflicted. So you look at Tottenham, for example. You see Tottenham have had bare injuries. They've had Bentancur and all these lot out, and I do think that in certain situations that is self-inflicted, because you look at Postecoglou, for example, the way he plays football, and they have this high line. Everyone in Tottenham are notorious for this high line, and how they play with high intensity and stuff like that. And I'm not saying that he's a manager. He believes that that's the football that he wants to play, and he believes that the football that's going to get him results. But I do think that there is an element of, like I said, self-infliction, where if you know that that's going to happen, and like you've seen now that there's been so many injuries, there should be an element of adaptation, because you're looking at it, and Tottenham are down in bottom half of the table. They really shouldn't be there. So I do think that what you're saying in regards to injuries has hampered the Prem. But I do think that certain managers need to look themselves in the face and be honest with themselves. Could I avoided it?
Okay. Well, in terms of then what Slot's done so far in his 6-7 months flawless, do you think the pressure's starting to get to him, or do you think he's done a good job holding up to the pressure of managing a club like Liverpool?
I think he's done a very, very good job, because he's exceeded all expectations. No one expected him, I don't think, to be where they're at. I think some people expected Liverpool to have a fall off. some people I think would have had Liverpool standing still. But I think very few people would have had Liverpool where they're at in regards to top of the Premier League, finishing top of the Champions League as well. So I think you have to give Slot a lot of credit. Blips are going to happen, and it doesn't look good. You got the Everton game, you got the Plymouth game. So you lot have dropped points. However, there can't be really too many complaints from Liverpool fans in regards to how he's managed your squad. You mentioned injuries as well and things like that. You lot haven't had too many injuries to my knowledge where it's been major when you compare it to other teams. And there is a factor in that with the amount of games that are being played, but also certain systems as well. The way I've heard Arsenal fans criticizing Arteta for that, same way with Spurs with Ange as well. So yeah, I think you have to give Slot credit for how he's managed and the fact that your key players have managed to stay fit for the most part.
Right. Well, I was on the Race for Europe show with Dan Potts. He was hosting on Monday night, and I got absolutely roasted Potts by the panel for saying that the going out of the FA Cup at the stage that we went out was not the worst thing as far as Liverpool were concerned. Slot has earned the credit in the bank to be able to manage his expectations now into that back end of the season. He's now able to not say cherry pick what competitions he goes for, but he's allowed to prioritize things. And I think there were certain objectives that he would have been given at the start of the season, i.e. getting to certain finals, getting domestic silverware, getting into a deep run in the Champions League, being in a part of a title race that he would have set out. And by proxy of going through to the final on Thursday against Spurs, he was then able to not necessarily treat the FA Cup with any disrespect, but he was able to manage it in a sense that if we win, we win, but if we don't, it's not the end of the world. I just want to know from the Liverpool lads, do you guys share that sentiment, or should we have really went gung-ho for all 4 competitions this year? Was there an opportunity that he's ultimately missed?
Nah, bro. I was with you. I was getting so wound up. I wish I could join in during that conversation.
Did you listen to it? Bro,
yeah, it was getting me mad,
I was fighting for my life, Drift.
Bro, I just wanted to Marty Jannetty tag me in, bro, and let's rockers did start drop kicking people. No, I'm fully
Potts
with
just
you,
sat
bro.
there, you know, bro. Potts just sat there.
But the enemy's not gonna help. The enemy's not gonna help. We know already. No, bro, I'm with you all the way. Like me personally, everyone's gonna disagree with me on this, but I think a domestic trophy is a domestic trophy. Yes, the heritage of the FA Cup might stand up more than the League Cup, but nobody cares either way. Let's be honest. Unless you win it, nobody cares about the competition. And then when you do win it, they tell you only won this or you only won that. I remember being told we only won a domestic treble. We got laughed at for doing a parade, which had nothing to do with the cups. It was just Klopp wanted an excuse for the people to get together because we missed during the pandemic, obviously. Everyone was laughing at us, saying, "Oh, you're so embarrassed. A domestic cup double." And it apparently was embarrassing to have a parade. So nobody cares about those trophies. Really, let's be honest. Because why were we being laughed at for winning both of them and doing a parade, even if that's what we chose to do? So, bro, we're in a final of one. We've been off one of the other ones, as you said, not on purpose, just privatizing. Why would we want to run our squad into the ground, play another, 7 games in total to get to that final and burn the players out and stop us winning the one we really want? Nah, I want the league. That's what I want. We're in a final already. Priorities have to be put in place. And if somebody got injured in that Plymouth game, if Mo, Virgil, Ibu, Ali,
well, that looks
any
like
of
the
our
end of
key
Gomez's
players,
race. That looks like it could be the end of Gomez's race for us, which is sad.
No, Gomez is done, bro. Gomez is done
a sad
for
way
the
to go
season
out.
now.
Yeah, done.
Imagine if that was one of our key players, Trent, Ibu, Verge, Salah. Do you get what I'm saying? Everyone would have been like, why is he playing in this game? I can't believe. So Slot couldn't win. The players didn't play well on the day. Sometimes that can happen. We're out. It is what it is. Anyone trying to laugh at us is just using an excuse because they've had no reason to. They couldn't banter us in the Champions League. We destroyed it. They couldn't banter us in the Premier League. We've been top. And we've been at the fight, and we're in the final of the League Cup. So nobody's been able to tell us anything all season. So as soon as they got an opportunity,
they were starving.
They were starving for a reason to jump on our back, bro.
You still like real talk though, boys. You still have got to hold the L for losing to Plymouth. Like, let's just be real. You can't be like, oh, it doesn't matter. It's all good. We want to be out of that competition. I ain't having that. Like, I'm all for what you're saying because you've had You've had the domestic cups, you've done that. You want to go for the big trophies, right? I get that. I personally always respect the FA Cup. I love it. It's unbelievable competition. Where I was like, maybe it was a little bit arrogant from Slot, was the bench was full of kids I'd never heard of, right? But the first team actually had quite good players in it. You should have been beating Plymouth. Like,
Seven international started.
So I mean, like, I looked at it and thought, man, you should be beating Plymouth. And I feel personally like it's a little bit arrogant. The thing is, you went and beat Everton, said, don't matter now. Oh, no, you didn't.
I hear it. And everyone wants to laugh. It's cool. But at the end of the day, I think it's literally factual, even though technically it's an opinion. You don't win all 4. Otherwise, it would have been done before. And I don't know. We in 2002, we came so close with an unbelievable squad with one of the best managers and still couldn't quite do it. So I don't want the squad ran into the ground like that again. You've got to sacrifice one, and we're already in the final with one, so I ain't sacrificing that. We're in the final now. So if this one has to be sacrificed, it has to be. You can't win all 4. You can't win all 4, and the Champions League and the Premier League is way more of a priority than the FA Cup. So it is what it is. I'm not asked at all we're out of the FA Cup. Not on the day I was annoyed for about an hour, because during the game you get emotional, right? You're vexed. I was angry at Elliot. I don't know what the hell he was doing. Why did he put his hands up? Plymouth weren't even better than us. We just weren't good enough. It's just one of them ones. Bro, but after about an hour, I couldn't care less. Bro, as long as we win the Premier League, imagine we do a nice double. We win the League Cup and we win the Premier League. Do you think I'm asked? We went out to Plymouth in the FA Cup.
I was saying, bro.
It could have been a domestic treble, though, Drifty. It could have been a domestic treble.
But we'd have had to play City. We'd have had to book City in the next round anyway.
You lot could beat City. You lot could beat City, bro. You lot could beat City.
You've played them in 2 weeks. Do you really want that level of intensity back to back?
I don't think you have to have that level of intensity. I think you lot can beat them anyway.
Facts, Flawless. This is what
we're talking about. You lot can beat. You lot, like Drifty just said, we ain't been able to laugh at you lot all season. You battered the Premier League. You battered the Champions League. You've done what you win the final of the League Cup. Now you can't beat City in 2 space.
No, we can beat them, bro. But it would just.
And I don't think it's an intense game.
It's just more.
Me neither.
No, it's the rivalry, innit? It's the rivalry. It would mentally still be a big deal.
You're Liverpool. You're a huge club. With huge club comes huge expectations. It's a horrendous L to take it to.
Yeah, but this is what bothered me though. So everyone Flo said huge club, huge expectations, and I get that. And on one hand, I accept it, but then on the other hand, and I'll come to you, Delude. Do you think that Slot's handling his objectives in the appropriate manner, or do you think he should have taken the mantle straight away because he's still untested? He's not done it in the Premier League yet. He's got off to a fucking flying start, but he's not done it. So are we expecting too much, or is he handling it? Is he standing on business?
I can't lie. I can't believe we're still on this talking point, man. I think what's his name, Arne Slot. He's doing a good job. I think if there was ever a time to rest players, I know it's the FA Cup and you have to hold an L losing to Plymouth, etc., etc. But if there was ever a chance to give minutes to the players that are struggling and rotate your side and have a bit of load pause management, it was going to be Plymouth. Now that's the magic of the FA Cup. You went out, but kind of what you're saying, if you win the Prem and all the champs and you're in a final, yeah, you have to hold a little bit of banter from your friends in the group chat, but it don't really mean much, man. I think he's managing the game this season quite well, man. I genuinely think he's done quite well. I don't think it's that deep, man. Like, obviously, losing to Plymouth's at L, but he's managing everything, man, and he's probably exceeding any of Liverpool fans' expectations off the back of the summer transfer window we had, and just probably with what you lot were aiming for this season. So, yeah, man, I think Slot's doing his thing. I can't lie to you.
Okay, interesting.
Well said.
Yeah, no, it is. Do you know what? Sometimes I think it's quite refreshing to get opposite fans impressions on certain situations, because we get such a tunnel vision when it's always Liverpool in the Liverpool sphere and bubble. So I do find that quite interesting. But just dead briefly, just before we flick over to obviously going back and doing a little bit of a throwback. The situation with Arsenal at the moment, lads, obviously, you are pushing. I can see it in your faces. You're dejected already. How are you feeling at this moment in time? The news broke yesterday that it looks like Kai Havertz is potentially going to be out for the remainder of the season. Are you guys throwing up the white flag now? I know, Potts, you've kind of been resigned to it for a while, but is that it now? Is it done? Are you over the fact that the Prem is going to go missing?
Yeah, man, I'll be quick. I'll let Deluded come in after. I'll be quick. I think that the season is done and dusted, bruv. Done and dusted in terms of Arsenal. I don't think we're getting anywhere near Champions League, winning that competition with our front three now. I think the club are a disgrace. I think the owners are a joke. I think the manager's good to get us challenging, but can't get us across the line. And he's certainly not going to get us across the line with Sterling, Nwaneri, and Trossard as a front three. So I've got white flags tapped out. And until this ownership tell me they're serious, I've seen this movie before, man. And we go again in the summer with a massive war chest, I imagine, like FSG keeps telling you lot. Exactly the same. So,
oh no,
yeah,
Dan, they don't tell us there's a war chest. Whoa, they don't even gas us like that. I'm
Yeah,
very
but talk about internal solutions and that. You start hitting internal solutions.
Well, that's Arteta's latest line.
That's
Internal solutions is us, man. That's what we've been
internal
saying.
solutions is a fire bar.
Yeah.
That is a great gaslighting bar. I like that. That's great.
Our internal solutions apparently is they're saying now our internal solutions is Mikel Merino as a Fellaini type striker. That's what I'm hearing our internal solutions are. Come on, man. Do me a favor. Tap me out of this season, man. I'm sick of it. This club,
Dan,
man.
Just before Deludi comes in on this, can I just ask you quickly, why is the Arsenal fan base so vexed about Havertz being injured when you all call him a donkey anyway? Like, I'm so confused.
That donkey is one of our top goal scorers. So like people can say what they like, bro. He's been pulling his weight, man. And that's probably the problem.
It ain't the player, it's what we haven't now got. So it's not like, oh my God, our season's done because it's Havertz that's gone down. It wouldn't actually matter whether it was Trossard or Havertz or whatever. Literally, he's the only striker at the club. Whether you think he's good, crap, or okay, he's the only one we've got. Now we've got nothing up top. We're using Trossard up there, who's 30. That's why people are peeved.
So it's a numbers thing rather than it being
and it's more the fact we did nothing in the transfer window drift, and then that happens. We used Martinelli and Havertz within a week of the transfer window shutting, on top of Saka and Jesus, when we already needed a striker or a winger on top of that. Nah, man, it's done, bro. You won this league. It's simple, man. It's done, in my opinion.
Bro, Dan said it all, man. Like it's one thing, Dan or me waving the white flag. The club did it, innit? Like my sympathy, whatever I say, is with the players because they're not in charge of recruitment, and with the fans. You know, I'm not. It's a delicate situation at Arsenal. I don't know if Arteta was suggested players and he wasn't fancying them. I don't know if he was pleading for players. They're all in this. You know, they talked about maximizing the market. We finished 2 points off City. You look at what we did in the summer. You look at what we did in January. It's not good enough, is it, really and truly? At this point, it's just blind optimism. It'd be a great story if Arsenal won a trophy, considering everything. But we're without Kai Havertz, we're without Saka, we're without several players. We've already got a depleted squad. Like, we're doing the same things and hoping for different results. If nothing changes, isn't it? So it's just a supporting the club thing. But yeah, man, there ain't nothing to scream and shout about in North London, man.
The one thing that gives me confidence is you've had better squads the last 2 seasons. And now you haven't got some of those key players, and you obviously didn't get it over the line. Now, without those key players going into the last 14, 15 games of the season, I can't see you being able to mount that same sort of challenge with that same level of intensity. But we'll see. Anything is still possible. You know, I'm one of them.
Man. There's none of that.
I don't. That guy that just sticks to me.
It's Liverpool. It's Liverpool versus yourselves. Like the only thing that can kill Liverpool is complacency. And look at the margin for error. Dead that, man. You've won the league. There's none of that, man. It's over.
I'm not gonna lie, Liverpool lads. When Arsenal fans tell us it's over, I feel like I'm being gaslit.
In it. This is why I don't want to say
what's there to gaslight about? We've got Sterling leading the line. We're talking about defenders playing up front. This is all assuming there's no more injuries. As somebody said, we've got 14 games in the Prem, right? 16 in all comps, 2 in minimum in the champs. Bro, these men are not going to be able to play 16 games for 90 minutes. And then if someone else drops, who else is there? All my faith is in a 17-year-old. As talented as he is, if you want to talk about winning leagues and that, bro, this don't make no sense. Like, it's dead.
Liverpool don't, man. If Liverpool don't win this league, wow.
There's no way they
guys are going to be banded for years, man. It's going to be like the biggest bottle job ever, trust me.
Liverpool would have to try so hard to fuck this up. Ridiculously hard to fuck
man. It's going to be like hard to mess this up for Liverpool.
Yeah,
but from an Arsenal fans' perspective, though, don't you guys think you can win your next 3 games? Even with, I don't think
we'll beat Forest, bro. Away.
Inshallah,
I think so. All right, but let's say even if you get a draw out of that game, right? Do you think you can win the next 2 without Saka?
I think
we need to take maximum points. Like, there's no drawing anymore. We need to take maximum points. I hope we look fuck up.
I think we've got to win 12 out of 14 and beat you at Anfield. I think that's near impossible.
See, myth.
Yeah, they're beating at Anfield is obviously is the one that's difficult. But I'm looking at it, right? The next 2 games, if you guys win your games, right, and Liverpool got a tougher kind of run at this moment in time, hopefully not But if we're in a position where we're dropping points, what happens then? Because Arsenal could be within 3 points. Do you know what I mean?
You've got to drop. I think you've got to drop like 6 games, bro. I don't think you're dropping 6 in 14.
You've gone too far to turn back. And this is all assuming that Arsenal do their jobs, control the controllables, and win every game to keep things alive.
Every game,
It's a myth.
Yeah.
It's a myth. We'd have to. You lot would have to try so hard to not win this league, like ridiculously, to the point where it probably should be a sackable offense for Slot, because you can't fuck this up. You really can't.
JJ trying to sell him the Kool-Aid, man. I respect it still. You know what I'm saying? That was a good sales pitch, man. That's a good sales pitch, man.
Like, there's
and DG ain't going for that. You know what I'm saying? They're not the ones.
Man.
They ain't going for that Kool-Aid.
Put extra sugar in it, flawless, man.
You put that extra sugar in it. You whip that up, and they was like, nah. This is
no, I'm not on it, man. Like, bro.
Now, PTSD is real. I'm not believing it's over for now. I'm not believing
50 is done, man. It's done.
Right.
As much
It's
as I
done,
despise
bro.
you, man, it's done. Yeah, it's over.
We got to get next year, shouts.
Let's take a trip down memory lane, because now we have got the opportunity. Again, this one more than anything else is just to kind of just see where your heads are at. As I say, I was a 90s baby. Obviously, the Prem, obviously in its infancy back in the 90s, had some ballers. People are always saying that players nowadays don't have to come up against some of the ballers that we had back then. So I just want to see from an Arsenal perspective and a Man United perspective, a little bit of a shakedown in settings. Flawless. Raylex will be back in a couple of moments. He's just had to take a call. But I want you to start thinking of a five-a-side, all-time 90s five-a-side. Players that played for Man United in the 90s that you would squeeze into a five-a-side team to take on an Arsenal five-a-side from the 90s as well. And then we'll chop it up. We'll have a little debate. And as Liverpool fans, we can kind of just sit back and we can kind of pick to see which team will come out on top. So, seeing as Flawless, you got. I'll give you a minute because you're holding the fort down for Man U on your one.
Yeah,
right
give me
now.
a couple minutes.
I already know what that means.
Is this include obviously including the goalkeeper, right?
Yeah. So obviously, all right. Well, we 5, 6 aside. So yeah, get your goalkeeper and 5 outfield players. Then we'll have a little 6 aside goal settings. The Luda thing, Dan, you guys can start chopping it up. Who are you just going to start selecting? Who are you going to start picking to pop into your team?
Oh, as long as Dennis Bergkamp's in there, it don't really matter. No.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's a given, man. Seaman's going in goal, obviously, unbelievable goalkeeper. Tony Adams is definitely in there because I mean he's the only guy to captain in 3 decades, 80s, 90s, and 2000s. Unbelievable. Patrick Vieira, DG, he's got to go in there.
%. $1,000,000%.
How many? We got 4 outfield players, haven't we? And then Bergkamp is an absolute must. I'd have to put Righty in there as well, DG. I have
can't
to put
forget
Righty
the man
in
of the
there.
culture, man.
Nah, so it's got to have Righty and Bergkamp, Vieira, Adams, and Seaman. That's got to be the 5-a-side. Surely.
Henri.
Would you?
I know.
Henri was 2000.
He's more.
99. Yeah.
Where's the cutoff point?
But I mean, but he was there from before 99, innit? So yeah, but I hear it.
Yeah, but I think Bergkamp and Henri.
You can have their prime versions. It's just from the 90s, though. So if they wore the shirt in the 90s, you can still have their prime version of them, even if they rep the shirt in the 90s. I think that's fair.
I mean, if we can cheat the game, then Henri's got to get in there. But
I'm happy to drop him in there.
I'm happy to cheat the game if we can. But
Who you dropping? If you put in the king game, who you dropping?
Yeah.
5-a-side, we might not need a defender, you know. Big up Adams, we might
have to be Tony, innit? It might have to be Tony. I don't know. Do you know what I mean? 11 aside, I hear it. But
he's going all out attack.
Vieira could do the defending still, man. It's calm.
Yeah, man. Put Vieira there.
Oh, wow,
I'm not gonna lie. If Flawless picks the right Man United team, you're gonna need Adams. You're gonna need Adams.
Well, maybe this is a good time, right? So wait, don't lock it in just yet. Let's see what Flawless's initial, and obviously Raylex, just as you were taking your call, we're going back through 90s players at Man U and Arsenal to kind of see who would come out on top in a 5-a-side team. So obviously you can work with Flawless now to kind of decide between yourselves who would you like to put forward for your team.
Of course, this is tough because we had so many ballers in the night. Schmeichel goes in goal, that goes without saying. Okay. Cantona plays, that's without doubt. He's there. Paul Scholes, another one. Obviously, everyone knows Paul Scholes' levels. This is no way. Tough who else to pick. I was thinking Yap Stam. That was who I was thinking. Yeah. I was thinking Yap Stam, Roy Keane, but I didn't know if that was. I'll go with that. But let me know, Raylex, if there's someone else you're thinking of.
You got Stam. Yeah, Schmeichel's obviously a given. He was our goalkeeper, treble, wonderful.
Absolutely.
Beckham and Giggs, man.
I was gonna say Giggs, no Beckham, nothing.
I think in five-a-side though, I know Giggs was obviously a wonderful player, but I feel like five-a-side there's more players suited to it. Like
yes, that's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
That's why I'm thinking Scholes, Cantona is a nightmare five-a-side.
Yeah, five-a-side.
You need Coley in there as well, though, man.
I might put them in together. I might just remove Keane and put Giggs, Cantona, and Scholes there.
So I would have thought Giggs would be a better five-a-sider than Scholes. Like five-a-side is more about being techie, and Giggs is more techie than Scholes.
You think so?
I think Scholes,
man.
Scholes is more technique. Technique. Man with a
I think Giggs is more techie than Scholes.
Nah. It's Scholes, man.
Scholes is what Scholes is good at is not suited to five-a-side football as much.
It's 1,000,000% suited to five-a-side.
Nah, he's 100%. Like you hear stories that like, when they did five-a-side like training drills, the team he was on won. Like Gary Neville spoke on this. Any team he was on when they did the five-a-side team, he won.
I'd rather Giggs than Scholes personally, but I can't tell him.
He was the first person who popped into mind. Like Scholes,
I would say 90s Scholes is for me. I hate to say it, but Scholes was the one I hated the most.
Mustard.
Scholes is a baller. Don't get me wrong. Scholes is a baller.
You stopped him, you stopped Man United, and we could never stop him. That was our problem. He was so good, man.
I think Keane as well, technically, was underrated. I think everybody thinks that he was like, I think because of in his later career when he dropped back further and he was, he was known for like his Haaland tackle and stuff. I feel like everyone thinks that he's sort of this run around merchant hatchet man, but I think technically with the ball at his feet as well was quite good. So I feel like in a five-a-side, Keane would be good, but I think Scholes will take the pick probably.
So what we saying is the Foden.
Okay, so go on, give us your rundown of your five. So obviously Schmeichel in goal.
Yeah,
Stam
definitely plays.
Scholes.
Yeah,
so Scholes front. Bex.
We saying Beckham.
Yeah, I'll say Beckham because
I run Beckham then. Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, in that front three. Quali.
No Cole.
No Coley. That's crazy.
I was thinking of Cole, but man, I have to think of balance. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we need a finisher.
Arsenal boys weren't even going to put a centre back in.
Yeah, that's them. They weren't thinking of balance and that. Like that team getting ran through from a defensive standpoint. You know what I'm saying? With no
will get sent off anyways, man.
We have the ref. 90s rules, man. Have the ref in the back pocket. No sending.
That's the brown envelope.
That's 100%. No
Man
sending.
United all the way, man.
Yeah,
Okay, so right then, are you guys going to lock in yours then, the Arsenal lads as well now? Are you happy with what you've gone with?
Yeah, but right, I can't remember what we said now. Bergkamp, Henry, Vieira, Adams, and Seaman. Yeah, Bergkamp, Henry, and Vieira. Oh, man, we've won this, man. Bergkamp, Henry, and Vieira. Come on.
Well, let us know in the chats now. Obviously, we've got two teams there, and us as the Liverpool fans, we can kind of ponder on it, take a second, let it digest. Who do you think would come out on top in that five-a-side? There's a tournament tomorrow. We roll back the clock. Who's taking a W? I think that's a tight game,
All right, so Cantona and Bergkamp are very similar.
Bergkamp was just on a different.
Stam and Adams are very similar, so it's kind of a tie in that regard.
There's Arsenal got right though. I'm telling you, he's gonna find corners for days. Touch.
No, but did you not pick right, or did you go on Henry?
Who did you go with? What was the?
I think it was Henry instead of right.
We
were allowed Thierry Henry apparently.
Either one's running rings around that United six-a-side. Like, have your pick, Ian Wright or Henry.
Five-a-side. Hey, DG, stop trying to cook the books. Five-a-side. I heard you, man. Yeah, you heard six. Where do you hear six? Huh? Yeah, see these Arsenal lot. Telling you.
I think it's close, but I feel like from the 90s, I always probably led to more favourably, especially to Arsenal anyway. But pound for pound on paper, that Man United side's stacked, Like looking back now, retrospectively, when I can look back and they can't hurt my feelings no more. Like that is a stacked.
You see what happened more often than not when we booked them 11 aside. Why would it be different 5-a-side?
I think Bergkamp, we had a better head-to-head record, but when you're buying the refs and you're buying the league, it's different.
Again, that's why I say that I throw that in there. But when it came to it, we won more often than not. When it came to key,
we should have stopped. We wouldn't have this combo.
Yeah, exactly.
Schmeichel
If you could say that to me, DG, I would shut up. But like, we won more often than that.
Fuck off, man.
Schmeichel's better than David. So I love David Seaman, but Schmeichel for me is
100%
the greatest Premier League goalkeeper. Adams and Stam. I'm going to say Adams, but obviously Flawless is going to say Stam. I think Stam was there for about 3 seasons. I think he was unbelievable. But I think Adams for longevity, like to captain over 3 decades, is unreal, man. And then you've got midfield. I'm going to go Vieira. They're going to go Scholes. And
didn't Alex Ferguson waffle all the time about Tony Adams, and I loved him and all of that. That's your
don't get misunderstood. Adams is
a Arsenal to go for these, man.
Adams is a bad boy. Like, don't get misunderstood.
100%.
Adams is. I said this. I give you lot praise. Like,
I think Beckham and Cantona are like, as much as unbelievable technique. Beckham and Cantona are taking Henry and Bergkamp over those two.
Cannona's another one that's getting sin binned in 5-a-side as well. If we're gonna
I'm saying you acting like you lot were saints. You lot had, your record under Wenger was worse than
we weren't.
I never saw none of that.
Oh, you doing the Wenger thing? I don't know.
If I knew, I'd be the first to say I don't know.
Wenger's favorite line, man. I didn't see the amount of times. It's like, you right there. What you mean you didn't see? Someone Google, in the chat, Google that for those that don't know that. Wenger's favorite line is I didn't see.
But you know what? I think we will leave that to the comments. We'll let the comments decide that one, because for the first little 5-a-side on a shakedown, I think that's pretty close. I'm pretty happy with both of those teams. I do think the Man United team is stacked just because of what they won back in the day, the level of the players, obviously some of the legends that they've got to pull out. But make no mistake, that Arsenal side, that ball is in it as well. So it is a tough one. It might come down to a matter of opinions and styles, who you like more in terms of the eye test. But we'll just kind of keep things moving just over here, because we're about to go over to this section. But before we do, we've got a super chat. So thank you very much, Sharab. He says, I don't like watching anything football related after such a loss, or was it a draw? But anyways, just had to drop this for Errol. You never walk alone. Big up you. Thank you very much for the super chat. Thank you very much for getting involved. Yeah, guys, make sure you are dropping a like and a share on this stream as well. Let people know where you've been watching. Obviously, spending Valentine's night with the lads, the panel. We've been giving you some good content tonight, guys. As I say, give the lads a chance to pick themselves up as well. Where can people find you at the moment? What you got going on, lad?
Oh man, I've done a bunch of streams today. You can just type in Deluded Gooner on YouTube and it should come up, man. Yeah, man. Or Deluded Gooner 04 on Twitter and all the socials, man. Come on.
Big up yourself. Potts, what have you got going on over on the 12th, man? How things? How's your weekend shaping up?
All good, man. We've obviously got Leicester tomorrow. Put a few pre-records out today that have been dropped. There's some heated debates from the other night, which has been clipped up. So, if you like Lee Gunner versus Igal, then get yourself over there and watch some of them.
They've got the maddest love bromance thing going on at the moment. Like, I see their content and I'm like, they are on opposite ends of the spectrum, but they still find a way to have an actual civil conversation. So big up both of them in all fairness, because not a lot of people are actually able to do that in this space, but they still find a way to make it work.
Yeah, man, 100%, man. So football's 12th, man, and you'll see us over the weekend against the Leicester game, and then all the rest of the shows. So big up, man.
Perfect. That's me, Flawless. What are you saying, bro? What's your weekend shaping up like?
Yeah, just follow Sarcasm City TV, people. Bunch of content over the weekend coming up. Cover all the big 6 plus more. So just subscribe to the YouTube channel. Go follow Sarcasm City TV and playback watch alongs all weekend long. And like I say, content on the YouTube channel all week long. And blessed for having me, Errol, as well. Appreciate it.
Nah, man, it's love all the time, anytime, bro. JJ, what are you saying? What have you got going on? Shows you're appearing on over the next couple of days? Anything you got lined up?
I got nothing lined up. I took a hiatus off of YouTube. I've come, do you know what I mean? So when I come back, do you know what I mean? I'll put the socials out there and stuff like that. But if you want to, do you know, just chop up ball or anything, just hit me up on Twitter, on X, at the Dre James Show.
Perfect. And Drift, how's your weekend looking, brother?
It's going to be stacked, bro. Going to be stacked. Got a lot of watch-alongs. So looking forward to it, man. Looking forward to it. Starting with tonight, with the Chelsea game, and then moving through the weekend, man. So, yeah, man, should be a good one, man. Should be a good one. So, just come and join us at Coppish or, Drifted TV. I'm going to start getting back into my gaming soon as well. So, yeah, man, appreciate the follow, man.
What's your go-to game?
I think the next game I'm going to jump in with is Undisputed. I think I'm going to go career mode, pump some people up, take my aggression out.
I know there was, bro. I know there was. Ray Lex, what about yourself, brother? How's your weekend shaping up? Everything good?
Yeah, everything's good. Big up, man. It's, haven't done a lot of these shows. You know, I'm kind of new in this space, so thank you for everyone for making me feel welcome. You can find me on X, Jay's Raylex. I got TikTok as well. For Raylex, sorry. Haven't uploaded too much on there, but I would like to, you know, be more consistent and stuff. And yeah, thanks for having me on again. And big up the panel.
Perfect. Well, just before we close out the show, I just wanted to finish with this last segment. It is a quick one, but I like to think of this as whacked or made man, and the concept is very, very easy. Who is going to be a star boy for this weekend in terms of football? Who's going to put in a big performance, and who's going to get whacked? Who's going to have a stinker, and who's going to get hooked? I want some bold predictions from my panel tonight. So, lads, I'm going to give you a minute to think about it while I plug my next thing for myself, and then I'll come straight back into this. So, as well as the lads are thinking about that, ladies and gentlemen, I am now officially on TikTok at sleeper_Liverpool. You never walk alone. So that's YNWA. Get yourselves over to TikTok, because I will be trying to drop some maybe every other day type of content, Liverpool news, Liverpool clips, some reaction type video as well. So if you can look over there, I'm hopefully going to get my first little video on TikTok out there tonight as well. So yeah, some more projects on the go. As I say, stay tuned for what I dropped over at the AXA as well in the next couple of weeks, because I'm looking forward to that content coming out. So we've got motion, we've got some motion in this content, we've got some skin in the game, and we're trying to make the best out of it. So as always, I'll be on the 12th man as well. Race for Europe show every Monday with Dan Potts, and then as I say, you'll catch me on Sunday's watch along. I'll be here in Redmen HQ, taking you right through the Wolves game. So make sure you come back to watch. Hopefully Liverpool get another 3 points on the way towards the Premier League, number 20. Ooh. Right then, lads, come on and let's have it. Because what's going on this weekend? Who do I need to keep an eye out for? Who's going to drop a stinker? Could be a manager, could be a player, could be a ref. I mean, at this point, I feel like it's always going to be a ref. But outside of that, I'll open the floor and let me just get your thoughts.
I don't mind starting this one.
Go on.
Because I think we might see a stinker again tonight from the feeder club, Brighton. Chelsea losing to their feeder club in what, 2 in 2 games. That's what I think is going to happen tonight, man. That is a proper stinker from Chelsea, man, if they do that. 1.5 billion. And look at the state of the lineup that they're putting out. It's just crazy when you look at it. So I'm going to go for them. I might get egg on my face and they might whack them up now I've said it, but I fancy Brighton tonight. And as for Starboy, I'll get behind my boy Ethan, man, tomorrow. Everyone's looking at our attack. Get Ethan one area out there. Let's see if he can do a good job like he has been this season, man. He's one for the future, that's for sure. So I'll go with those.
I'm just looking at that Chelsea lineup now. Yeah,
Is it that bad?
Neto, Palmer, Madueke, Fernandes, Caicedo, Cucurella, Colwill, Chalobah, Gusto, and Jurgensen. So he's dropped Sanchez unless he's injured. So yeah, it's not the best. When Dan puts it into the context of you spent 1.5 bill or something crazy on a squad, that is a crazier start.
What was funny though was that when they beat him in the FA Cup, there was a picture of them celebrating, and there's 3 players, Chelsea players, that in that screenshot. It's Caicedo, Cucurella, and Sanchez, the goalkeeper.
Wow.
And it's like, wow. Mad.
Okay. No, I can see it. And yeah, a big weekend for Ethan. Massive weekend. So, any other bold predictions going out there? Anyone got any?
City to lose again, man.
Who have they got? Who have they even got this weekend?
Newcastle.
I can see that. I can see that though.
I've got a surprise one. I think the player of the weekend might be Sterling.
I was going to say that still.
I actually think now the pressure is off, I actually think Arsenal are going to probably get a couple of performances out of Sterling, you know. Leicester's a very easy game to make that.
You're saying 50 Sterling false 9?
It's not easy. There's nothing easy in football, man. Every game's a cup final, man.
No, I hear that. I don't want to be disrespectful to Leicester, but Leicester are one of the teams that you want to play if you're trying to get some momentum in it. Do you know, Southampton, Leicester, those are the teams you want to play if you're just looking for 3 points and trying to get a little
Sterling's got a brace, man. We're claiming it.
Sterling off the left wing as well, because I think Trossard will play down the middle. I think Sterling off the left
let's
wing.
hope so. Arteta's got his own ideas. Let's hope so, man.
I think Sterling will have a good game against Leicester.
Okay. Delude, you got any predictions for me this weekend?
No, I'm just back in the Sterling chat, man. I'm saying a brace for Raheem Sterling, man. The Gaza man's gonna do his thing, man. I got nothing but blind hope in it. I'm saying Sterling brace. Yeah, man. Spurs losing. Yeah, it is what it is, man.
I love that. Flawless. Give me a wild prediction. Your hot take for the weekend.
I think City get beat, and I think Newcastle really moved to them, like at the Etihad. That's what I'm thinking of in that game. In regards to if Newcastle were to win that I can see like a 3-1 in that or something like that, or like a 4-2 or something. I think Newcastle are all wrong for Manchester City. I think stylistically they match up horribly against them, City, and I can see Isak doing damage. Yeah, overrun him in the mid, and City will give you up goals anyway, as we see in against Madrid.
Kanji's injured
as
as
we
well.
see, yeah, Kanji's injured, as we've seen against everybody. Like they've give up so many leads, but because it's City, no one really cares, you know, like because it's City. But so yeah, I would say them. I think Isak. I can see him having a great time at the Etihad. So I go with Isak for like the player to watch. And yeah, I think City could get packed in.
Okay.
20 games or something like that they haven't won at the Etihad though, so they've got to get over
Really?
that. Dude.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is it
So that might be a mental thing then.
I'm sure they were talking about on Sky today. I'm sure they said that 20 visits, they haven't beaten them in 20 visits or something like that.
Oh yeah, Newcastle's record there is horrible. Yeah. Their record there
isn't
good. I don't think they beat them in the Premier League era there. Obviously, Newcastle haven't been good for the most part, but I think this is the time to change. I think they get a win.
Mad. Relax. No one's really spoke about Man U tonight. So have you got any predictions Man United related?
You see what we said, Errol, about that thing about internal solutions. You know what I'm saying? We have no solutions internal. We don't need to talk about United. We could just bypass us. Everyone knows we've got problems.
Nah, that's the whole point of the cartel. Though. This is what people need to understand. Like, whether we like it or not, it's in our vested interest that we keep the chase and pack away from us. So if we want to lock off this cartel business, you guys have got to fix up at some point. It's got to come good for Amarin. Like, I've got stocks invested in it. Now I'm doing this show, I've got stocks invested in Amarin on the low. Do you get me? So he needs to fix up.
Amarin must, man. Amarin must.
He must. He's got to deliver something.
Definitely, it's good because he wore designer clothes in that, man. It's crazy.
I don't know if the panel agree with this, yeah. But I've noticed that Arsenal and Liverpool, we don't get away with things the way Tottenham, Man U, Chelsea get away with things. Look at Chelsea's season last year and the year before. Look at Man U and Tottenham this year. If Arsenal or Liverpool were in those situations, the way we would be getting torn from pillar to post,
I hear it
every single day would be crazy.
How do you think United are getting away with it?
Yeah, we ain't getting away with it. Where are you?
Nah, they are, man. It's probably because no one don't care no more.
You lot in the wrong place. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to be where you are at so we don't get spoken about. Because I hear about it every day. I get reminded every single day how bad we are.
Well, fair enough, but where I am, it seems like it's kind of cushy.
Well, Drifty, right we need to swap then. I need to be where you're at, because I ain't trying to hear about it. So where you, DG, are at, I need to be in them spaces.
Relax, go on, give us your prediction for the weekend then, bro.
In terms of United, I don't. Tottenham away, I don't think we have a good record there. So,
I don't think.
Pardon?
Is that what they're calling it, the El Mudico at the minute?
Yeah, I agree because both teams are not where they should be. Both
those fan bases support each other, anyways, man. It's Spurs, Chester United, man.
Hey, my enemy's my friend, and we all don't like you lot. So here we are.
Yeah,
fair enough.
Well, in terms of player that I think could do something this weekend, I've actually got a bold prediction. I don't think Leicester will win because I just think Arsenal, even though Arsenal do have injuries, I think they should get the job done. But I do, one player that I do like, and I think that he could do a little side is El Khanous.
Baller.
He plays in them little spaces. He played against us in the FA Cup for us.
He saw Spurs as well.
Yeah.
Played very well.
He played well against us.
Scored against Spurs. I feel like he can do something. He looks good. Both feet, can shoot from distance as well. So I feel like El Khanous can. I don't think Leicester will win, but I do think that he can have an impact on the game.
Okay. Well, we'll keep an eye out. Guys, let us know in the comments as well your thoughts on this weekend's action. Who's going to come out on top? Who's going to be a made man? And who's just going to absolutely drop a stinker and get hooked? and end up as a, well, that's the end of it really, let's be honest, because we are out of time, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you very much for watching. Please do drop a like on the stream on your way out. Leave a comment as well. Help us with the algorithm. Let us do our thing on YouTube at the moment. I've got to say massive thank you to my panel once again. Lads, you spent Valentine's Day with your boy. Thank you very much. We are over and out. Another Red Cartel episode in the can, and we'll see you all again next week. Ta-da.
Peace.
Peace.